Well, all right, guys. So here we are at the very first. I don't even know really what to call this podcast. Maybe we'll come up with a name someday. But the Pwn Star Gaming Podcast, Pwn's Podcast, whatever. But it's been asked by the community for a long time, and I just I felt like this was the time. 2023 started the new year, but really more importantly, I was I took a couple weeks off in December for the holidays and stuff, but I found myself really engaged in a lot of the community streamers, and probably the most engaged I was with is Mr. Behrlythere here, and part of that was because I mean, what better person to be the first guest on this podcast than somebody who raised like almost $4,000 for a charity.
Yeah, it was
Um,
close.
yeah, and even when they didn't donate to the charity, they would just tip him. He was like, "Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get some Prev coins, and that's gonna be at a giveaway at the end of the month with the money." And it was inspiring, and I knew that this was the guy that I wanted to kick off the podcast with because his goals are very similar to mine of community driven content. He pays attention to chat more than anybody I know, and he engages with the community. And for me, that's very inspiring. So, barely there. There's the introduction, man. I don't want to talk about who you are, so you tell me, man. Where did you get the name Barely There? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, yeah. So one, I want to say I'm honored to be a part of this. When I first came on and started playing Outlands, and I had no clue what I was doing, I went on YouTube a lot and I started looking up stuff. And the name that I saw over and over again, obviously, was yourself. I feel honored to even be here and be a part of this as the first guest. It's incredible from where I started to this point right now. But to answer your question, the name Barely There. I got really heavy into the World of Warcraft scene back when when I bought my first computer and I started gaming. WoW was the first thing I played, and I played a druid tank who I named Bear.
That makes
And so
sense.
it was like boom, like bear tank, bear made sense, kept it going. And then years gone by, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start streaming, and I was like, I need to come up with a streaming name. So I typed in Bear, no good. It was taken already. Somebody already had it. Of course, it's not that original. And then I started thinking about like what my goals and stuff were for streaming and how I want to continue to like try to push the envelope, raise money, be a part of the community. And I felt like, I'm always going to be setting new goals for myself and trying to push the envelope. So I felt like, hey, I'm never going to truly reach where I want to be. I'm always just going to be just barely there. So boom, barely there. The name stuck, and it kind of fits with the vibe of what I'm going for. And I keep telling people just call me Bear because that's my name, but they
Sure.
keep calling me Barely there. So
Wait,
yeah,
Bear is your name? Like Bear in real life is
no,
Bear?
no,
Oh, okay.
my video game name,
Gotcha. So
Bear, like my first character's name.
yeah, so Beltane, my friend Beltane, who I've been playing UO with forever. Growing up, his mother would call him Bear sometimes, and so
Wow,
that I was like, but his name's actually Brady, and so I was like, wait, your name's Bear, But
not
either way,
close.
uh, so I mean, what? How long have you been playing UO, and then like what other servers have you played on?
So my UO life career didn't heavily start until probably about 7 or 8 months ago, but I actually played UO back in like 2000. My family started going to church up near my uncle's place, so on Sunday afternoons we would go over to my uncle's, and they had this back room, and they had like they had four computers all in the office, and it was like
Hmm.
wild for me as like a 10-year-old. I'm dating myself, by the way.
I get
As like a
it.
10-year-old, right, watching all this happen, and it was like three of my uncles and my oldest cousin, and they would all be playing UO, and I would
That's
always ask
awesome.
them like, hey, like, can I play? Can I get in and play? And they'd be like, all right, fine, whatever. And they'd log me onto some random server, a dead server, and I'd run around and get killed by a fucking tree, and I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So like that's where my UO life started. And then I watched my brother play a lot. And he was always like, "Hey, get into the game, get into the game." And I was like, "Nah, I'm in WoW. I'm in WoW. I don't want to play UO, whatever." And then, about, I want to say in August or so, was it, what fuck, when was that? June, July? I don't know. Sometime last year,
Mhm.
um, I got sat in my guild, in World of Warcraft because of my military career, and I had too much time off and I couldn't play as much. So they sat me, and I was like, well, fuck that. I don't sit for shit. I'm playing some video games.
Yeah.
And I asked my buddy, like one of my best friends, my son's named after him. I was like, man, what do I play? And he's like, what's the first game you remember playing on a computer? And I was like, UO. And he's like, go play that. And I was like, oh, well, fuck. All right, boom. And then bam, I started playing on OSI Atlantic.
Yeah.
And then I played that for about 6 months, and it was a good time for the most part, but I
You
kind of got upset
you were
at like
streaming there a little bit too, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I did, and that's how a lot of people found me.
Yeah.
Um, and it took me a little while, but I kept getting raided on Twitch
Yeah.
from dudes playing Outlands, and
Yeah.
they'd be like, "Dude, what are you doing playing this OSI crap? Like, come over, like come over and play Outlands, man." And I'm like, I don't know. I had some little bit of time and some money and invested in that, and
Yeah.
then eventually I was just like, you know what? Fine.
I gotta ask, when you would get rated and they would start saying, "Why are you playing this?" and come play Outlands, like, and be honest here, like, how did it? I mean, what was your instant thought? Did you feel like you were like, I want to say being berated, but like, I mean, I don't know. Tell me
Yeah.
what kind of you were thinking about.
Not at all, because they
Yeah,
were really it made me when I it so when it happened, I was like, man, this
yeah,
community is like pretty strong. Like
yeah,
they're supportive of anybody that plays Ultima, anybody, right? And I was like, this is wildly crazy how willing they are to go into a game that's like the other side, right? And be supportive of it. And then that happened again when I actually came over here and I started streaming on Outlands, and people were just like super supportive. So like,
yeah.
no, like I totally felt like I was a part of the UO family
That's
whenever
good.
I got rated by people on Outlands. So it
Uh,
was incredible.
That's good to hear. So like, because for me and you, I'm sure as well, but like, I really don't care what version of UO somebody's playing.
Hmm.
I just want people to play UO. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, eh, I feel like that game is the game that could be lost to time or whatever. And I know that I like Outlands the best, but at the same time, I also understand some people like retail or they like, UO Forever or
Hmm.
Renaissance or whatever. And that's cool, man. That is really cool. But what I always am afraid of is like, people like jumping into some other streamer on like Renaissance or wherever, and they're just like, "Oh man, that server sucks, bro." Like,
Yeah.
and talking bad. It's like, no, come on, man. Like, at least he's playing UO. Like, let's
Hmm.
show him a good time and let him know about Outlands. That's cool. And then they're probably gonna make their way to Outlands. Am I right?
There's some really good people that play on some other servers, and I'm
Yeah.
good friends with them. I don't play on the same game. We're playing the same game, but not the
Mhm.
same game. But there's some great people on other servers that have been been awesome to talk to.
As long as Ultima's growing, that's what I say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So, I mean, once you got over to Outlands, what was like, I don't know, what was the first character you played, and what was your impressions of the game itself on Outlands?
All right. First character I created was a tamer.
Yeah,
Because they were good over on OSI for kind of like some solo content, like team mapping and some stuff like that. So I was like, I'll make this tamer. And I got to like 95 taming, and I was like, no, fuck this. I'm done. Mainly because I got to like the dragon part. And there's those dragons that spawn I think like southwest of Prev. And I was trying to level taming there, and reds kept killing me, and I was like, this is shit. I
mhm,
gotta do something that I can level up and not have to deal with an exterior source. I can just kind of go in and do it and get it leveled up and start playing the game.
yeah,
So after my tamer, I believe came my necro bard character. So I had a necro bard mage, which I still play today, and that's
yeah,
that's Tim Henson, who I named after one of my favorite guitarists from Polyphia. So most people, I love running around as Tim Henson, and people will be like, "Dude, Polyphia," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, what's
yeah.
up?"
So in Star Wars: The Old Republic, I had
Oof, old game.
yeah, well, it's a good game.
Hmm.
Actually, like the leveling portion of it is amazing because there's each class has that story. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And so for me, that was really interesting. I mean, it's another one of those MMOs that was a really good MMORPG that's actually a single player game, right?
Yeah.
But either way, I had the character's name was Shemaya, and Shemaya, and then the last name was Otep. And if you know, like
OTEP,
Otep, it's yeah,
the female singer OTEP. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. And so like sometimes when people would know what that was, it feels good. You know what I mean? To like
Yep. That
catch that
community.
reference.
That's the thing. The community that this like with the Ultima Online, the Outlands community. Being like integrated, and then you've got like the heavy metal guy community where you're like, hey, I know who that is. Like, what's
Yeah.
up, man? And then you have that relationship back and forth, and it's kind of fun.
Yep, yep. And okay, so you you're in there, you're leveling your Tim Henson character and stuff
Yep.
like that. I mean, what direction did you kind of like gravitate towards? Because I mean, Outlands, there's so much different content and different types of players and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I started playing that, and there was a couple guys that kind of joined in and played with me. Winter, he's another player that comes in and plays with me all the time. We fully leveled that up, and I still play that every now and then, and I really enjoyed it. And then I watched the real Boo Whip. I watched him on his lock picker one day,
Yep.
just doing lock picking, and I was like, that looks lucrative as hell, and I'm gonna continue to do that. And it was really awesome up until this guy I know made a video about lock picking and dungeon lock picking, and then everybody had one, and the damn dungeons got swarmed with lock pickers, and I was like, "Where are all the chests going?" But no, it's really good to see more people taking advantage of that part of the content because I really enjoy that. Really enjoy
So
that.
I was in voice in my guild. I guess it was literally 2 weeks after I made that video. And somebody in there was like, "Man, I just lockpicking has been really bad the last 2 weeks." And the other guy was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, I just feel like there's so many more lockpickers right now,
Yeah.
just way more than normal." And I just kept my mouth shut. I didn't say a word.
It's, dude, you're not the only. That's not the only thing. So most recently, the character I've been having a lot of fun with and working on is my backstabber.
Yeah,
And Amish Hammer, right? I
yeah,
got with Amish, and I was like, hey man, I watched you do that. I like that because I like to be able because I got kids and I got other stuff I'm doing. I like to be able to go into a dungeon, and then if something comes up, I just stealth. I hide in a corner, and hopefully somebody doesn't come and kill me. But I can step away for a second. I like that style of just like kind of chill, slow pace, relaxing. Don't have to worry about it.
yeah,
The
yeah.
week after that, he puts out a video, and then there's like 15 more fucking like everybody's backstabbing now. I'm like,
Sh- shout out to him, man, because like
dude, Amish.
he's extremely knowledgeable, especially in like the dexing and
Oof.
stuff. And he's been talking about doing those one take tutorials and
Hmm.
things like that for a while. And I'm really excited that he finally got to do it. And yeah, I'm excited to see where he goes with them. Honestly,
Yeah,
'cause
he's got a
he's
lot
such
of
a cool
knowledge
dude.
on like everything. That guy is. I'm glad to be in his guild because if there's ever a question I have, shout out LC.
Yeah,
If there's ever a question I have, I know that I can ask him, and he's just like, "Stop being stupid. This is what you should do."
yeah.
I'm like,
Every time he doesn't have to look it up. He's just like, well, it's actually 3.7% increased
uh,
damage with your
yeah, it's
swords.
we have exactly a 33.3% repeating, of course, chance of survival, and
At least I got chicken.
yep.
Awesome. Okay, so I mean, you talked about where the name came from and
Hmm.
things like that, but what really got you to want to start streaming? And then, I mean, tell me just some of your goals, I guess you could say, for like streaming. And I
Yeah.
also understand you're wanting to do like content, like become a content creator and
Yep.
whatnot. So tell me a little bit about all that.
Yeah. So streaming, like I'd thought about doing it, and then one of my other really good friends growing up, I've known him for like 20 some years. He was like, dude, just do it. Just start streaming because I've obviously I do like the fundraising and stuff like that, and I've been that way my entire life. This isn't just like a I'm doing it on stream type deal. That's who I am in real life. I'm not gonna talk about or like brag about it. But
You should
I've
brag, dude. You raised $4,000 for NAMI on a
uh
Ultima Online stream, dude. Brag the shit out of that.
uh last year, alone, I gave away $10,000 of my actual money to friends and family, that like people that needed money, like of like cash, like USD, not
Uh-huh.
like I didn't raise that. Like I gave away that money from what, that's me. Like that's not. I'm not trying to like say anything, brag on myself about that. Like that's who I am outside of Ultima as well. So like I was like, how can I? When I first started streaming, I wasn't doing the fundraisers, and I was like, man, I can I can make a difference. I can do something positive through streaming, because I know everybody who's probably listening or watching this knows who Mr. Beast is. The
Mhm.
guy is insane with what he can do. And I'm nowhere on that level because I can't make a video to save my life. Hopefully I get better soon. Um, but he's like my inspiration for like what I would like to be able to do. Um, because that's who I am. I like being able to help people that are less fortunate, people who need it, and that's where I kind of set my goals. When when everybody first starts, we're not going to lie, everybody's like, hey, I need to hit 50 followers, and I need to hit 3 average viewers.
Yep.
I had the same goal. I'm not going to act like I'm not, a typical streamer. I was like, God, I got to get my affiliate badge so I can,
Yep.
I can look cool and I can have some sub emotes and stuff like that. Um, but then after that, I realized, man, I could do something. In the first month, it was like $150. I raised for Wounded Warriors. The next month
Mhm.
after that, it was like $400, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. And then I put out a tweet, and I was like, my goal for 2023, and this was at the beginning of December, my goal for 2023 is to raise 5,000 total dollars throughout the year. And then December happened, and we raised $3,500 in a month. And I was just like,
Yeah.
what is going on with this? This is insane. So, yeah, and I want to do as much as I can, and keep pushing, and start making some content.
Yeah.
Um, you mentioned me making content, and so a lot of the guys on UO Outlands, there's some specific guys. You got your morning streamers like Slambo, who they do the farming thing, and they're that morning time slot. They're doing awesome. They're giving me something to do while I'm at work.
Yep.
And you've got like yourself and Sanguine Jester, who do the thieving thing. You've got guys like Halberd, Blacklisted, that do the PKing thing. But there's nothing on there's people that do it. Path is the guild that does all of the anti-PK stuff. But so far, I haven't seen anybody really trying to document and push the anti-thief and PK content. And that's what I would like to start doing, because I think it gives a
Yeah.
good parity to the other side. And it
Yeah.
allows good content on both sides. And it shows that, like, no matter what, the community is about just having fun. It's not like I don't like you, you don't like me. It's like let's just have some fun and try to kill each other in
Oh,
a video game, man.
100%, man. Like it's funny because sometimes people will message me and they'll be really upset that I stole their water core or whatever. I'm like, I'm unsubbing, and I'm like, okay,
Okay.
dude. Like, okay, sorry, man. But at the same time, though, you get those same people that will just chase me around, and it's just
Hmm.
like what you said, man. It's one, it's content. Two, it's fun. Like, man, it's a game, and we all play this game for different reasons, and for me, the chase is what makes it fun, and so for you saying that, it's like, yes, I know when I see Bear on Saturday, when I'm whiskey Saturdayed up, and he's running around SSC, I'm gonna walk up to him, hit a yeehaw, and I know it's gonna say, "Bear is attacking you," and I'm gonna, yes, and I'm gonna hit my little soundboard and haul ass.
Dude, I think, and what really, I was like, oh, that could be really fun. The interaction that you had with my alter ego that one time,
Oh, yes.
where you walled, but he roped at like just the right time, and
Yeah.
you just died laughing, and you just gave up at that point, because it wasn't
Yeah.
about the steal, it was about the chase, it was about the heart pump, it was about the, can I get away? Is he gonna get me? That's fun. The game, God, guys, if you're watching this and you've never played UO Outlands, watch some of this content. It is an
Yeah.
incredibly fun game. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy to have came over here, because it's gonna be a blast.
I always am like, and I say it nonstop, man, but I'm like always looking for a second game to play. one
Ugh.
that's a little bit more popular, and I can splash into the algorithm, and it ultimately brings people to Outlands, right?
Yeah.
But man, I just never can like stick to the game, and 90% of it. We've been talking about it a lot in the last week, but like 90% of it is exactly what you're talking about: the interaction, the conversations, the seeing the same people, or you
Hmm.
know what I mean, and just like it's cool, man. And I think that a lot of games these days, they miss out on the community portion
Hmm.
of it. And I mean, like, the game developers and whatnot. I mean, Ultima, it's instilled into the game. There is going to be community, whether it's a good
Absolutely.
community or a bad community. That's up to the people that similar roles as Owen, Expo, Luthien, etc.
Yep.
But they've built a good one, I think.
I'll elaborate on that a little bit too. And that's something I noticed coming from like OSI or coming from like World of Warcraft even. When I was playing WoW, if you found somebody who was obviously botting, like clearly breaking the rules, soaking the community with unnecessary trying to break a economy basically. The other day, I found a bot. I found one, and I was like, because they were running the same exact pattern over and over and over again, running the same pattern. I noticed it, so I stood in front of them, stand blocked them. They didn't move. And then they had to wait for and then they would go through me. I was like, I reported it. Within 2 minutes, Owen showed up
Yeah.
right on screen and was like chasing this guy around at like light speed, like, hello,
Are you
hello,
there? Are
hello.
you there? Are
Are
you
you there?
there?
Are you there? Are you there? Like cue, like I'll send you the picture. Bam, boom, picture right there. Like it was insane. Like how fast it responded and how fast the problem was taken care of.
Yeah.
Because the people who made this game want to protect the community,
Mhm.
the people who like playing the game and who are doing it the right way. And I was like, dude, that right there, like you've always said, I want to play this game when I retire.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, that's 100% legit. My goal is to be able to play this when I retire. Man, imagine how many torches I could get in the torch farm event.
I don't want to talk about it. I
I
don't want
know.
to talk about it.
I could be like, "Are you kidding?" and farm 9 million and get 0 torches.
I got one torch. I got one wilderness torch, and it was given to me by
Yeah,
Winter. And I farmed about 1.5 mil in wilderness, and he stepped in for about 2 seconds. And I'm not even kidding you. It was like he killed two mobs in one drop for him, and I was like, dude,
yeah.
you can eat my butthole.
I think I did about 4.5, maybe 5 million, and I got 3 torches. So
Not bad.
yeah, it was good. There was a dry spell. It's funny how it works. Like I got one very early, and then like it was dry forever, and then I got two pretty close together, and I was like, all right, well, that works. One like 20 minutes
Oh,
before they stopped dropping.
we can talk about the community some more here. So I put out an offer on stream,
Mhm.
and I was like, hey, so somebody gave me a house.
Yeah,
Somebody gave me a house. They won it in a lottery, and they're like, hey, you've been living in your inn. We like hanging out with you. Here's a free 8x8. And I was like, okay, sweet. On stream, I put out, I was like, hey, I will trade this house for a torch so that I can give it to my boy DJ Rizzle. And somebody came through and was like, I'll do it. So the community takes care of each other. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I took something that was given to me, swapped it out, gave it to somebody else. He didn't like it. If you're watching this, Rizzle, love you, bud. Take your damn torch and like it.
You better love him. He's in there defending the realm, as we
He
say.
is.
He's always good, man. And he does all the song requests and shout outs for you.
Dude, he's an amazing guy. Rizzle, I can't say enough about that guy. Him and his wife hung out with me on last stream, and it was just a blast. Those guys, they handle all the behind the scenes stuff for me. And one day I cannot wait to get out and go hang out with him and do
Did you
what he
just
does.
you just met him here on Outlands?
That's it. He came into my stream and he was a constant. He kept coming in and hanging out. And I was like, hey dude, do you want a mod? And he was like, yeah, man, I got you, dude. Like whatever. And then since then he's like, hey, are you streaming today? What time are you streaming? Let's get this ready. I bounce ideas off of him.
That's great.
He's the reason why I'm eating all these fucking crayons. Um, and it's funny we had the conversation about trying
Literally
to.
has rainbow shits.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I've shit a lot of different colors. A lot of different colors in the name of raising money. So
For the
yeah,
kids.
it's dude. Uh,
I love it. All right. So I mean, speaking of giving away stuff and taking care of each other and everything. So hashtag Jack's Pond, man.
mm,
Um I personally don't really have a spot. I like to just use different spots from different people and whatnot like that. And probably, I Jack's Pond is always a fun one. I like it. It's pretty scene and
yeah,
everything like that. Um, what what's the significance of it? Why is it Jack's Pond and what do we got?
yeah. So I'll do my best not to get emotional.
All right.
But so
One rule: no crying on my podcast.
yeah, I'll try
I'm
not
just
to. Right,
kidding.
I've cried quite a bit on stream, but that's fine. Like we'll talk about that in a second. Um, so I spoke earlier about growing up watching my uncles play Ultima Online, and then one of the ultimate reasons that I chose to come over to play Ultima was for my brother. My brother's name was Jack. He committed suicide in 2020, and it was due to some mental illnesses that he was going through. And obviously that hit me pretty fucking hard. Um, and that's one of the big reasons why I did the mental health fundraiser. And I think that was, I think that could connect with a lot of people. And that's why we were able to raise so much money. Um, was just being able to, be vulnerable to the community so they could see that I'm just a real guy, not somebody behind a screen. But
Yeah.
when I was everybody had like their area, right? Script Daddy had his little coding cavern. Ego has his little amphitheater. M Night Salami Llama has his little apple orchard, and I was like, I gotta find somewhere where I can do a giveaway. And I was like, man, I like fishing. Maybe I'll find a body of water and then boom, I found that little pond. And I was sitting there thinking, I was talking to Chad about it, and it, it- I didn't even come up with the name myself. The community, it was actually Boo Whip. Boo Whip came up with it. He goes, "Hey man, name it Jack's Pond," and that it kind of hit me really fucking hard when the community was like, "Hey, name it that," because
Yeah.
it showed me that they listened to what I was saying. They listened to my emotions and my feelings and what means a lot to me. And so I was like, fuck. And so we started naming it, hashtag Jack's Pond. We blew up the Discord a little bit. We tried to get them to name it that officially. They probably won't do it. But Owen, if you're listening, silent plug there, trying to
What's the NPC's name there right now? It's just some random girl,
it's
right?
like a random name. Just name it.
Yeah, yeah. Just
Just name it Jack.
turn
Just
into
change
a
the name.
male and name him Jack. You know what I mean?
But
Give him a what's the icy a glacial fishing pole too.
yeah, give it a nice, fishing pole or whatever. But no, that Jack's Pond is for my late brother who I watched play a lot of UO, huge into PvP. That guy, any game he was into, he would tear up the PvP scene. He had the reaction time of like, a pro gamer. Like the dude was insane. Like I used to love watching him play, and I'm honored to play the game now, and that the community has kind of gotten behind something that just helps me remember, right? Because it's easy to forget people, even your loved ones, but I don't think the community is ever going to let me ever forget. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, everybody. I really do.
Yeah. And you got, just like you said, the community's behind it. They they all go there. Like you got Dennis. Man, he was there
Dude,
this morning at 5 a.m. when I woke up, and I mean I'm not logged in right now, but if he's not playing, he's sitting there.
Dude, yeah, the one end Dennis, man, that guy's usually got two characters parked there. So
Yeah,
Dennis, love you, bud.
he's cool, man. So that's awesome, man. Well, Jack Spawn.
Hashtag Jack Spawn.
We'll do all of our giveaways there tomorrow night on
Hell
Whiskey
yeah,
Saturday. So okay, so this one is kind of a touchy one, right? We'll see how this one goes. I'm sure this will get the comments going because it usually
oh
opinions
yeah,
do. But what are just some like we love Outlands to death, man. I mean, I know I do,
sure
and
do.
I would imagine you do too. But like, what are some things that you would like to see in Outlands for this year. It's the beginning of the year, and or beyond, like things like that.
Yeah, so this was something I had to think about a lot. Mainly because dude, I'm so new to the game still. There's so much for me still to explore that I haven't even touched and haven't even seen. Um, I think uh, I know they're already working on it, but I'm going to say it anyways. Expanding on dungeons, new dungeons. I know that they're working really hard, so don't hate me, don't ban me. Like I know you guys are working tirelessly to push out new content. It's just I think during this Torch event, we all kind of realize when there's 3,000. I don't know. I don't know what the number was that we capped out at. I think it was like 3,086 or something like that. We topped out. It was like almost
Yeah,
3,100 players. When you've got that many people running around, um, it was tough to find something to touch. Especially if you're playing a character like any of the ones that I play that aren't like the high damage output, bursty type damage. But that kind of leads me into my next point is like you don't want everybody playing one thing, right? Like you don't want because then there's no diversity to the game. If you look at other games like WoW, which brings me to my I did my first town struggle like yesterday, and I noticed something in PvP. It was like one spec, if you will, like one thing. It was everybody running around as a mage e-bolting. If you were a Dexter, you're probably just going to get dumped on endlessly. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't code. I don't write games, but I would like to see a little bit more diversity in the PvP realm because if you play a game like WoW, you've got you're not going to run around with 10 druids. I mean, you could, but you're probably going to lose. You have to have a little bit of diversity in your role, a little bit of support, a little bit of tankiness, a little bit of DPS. You got to have a little diversity. I think I'd like to see that, just so maybe a Dexter can go in and actually feel like they're being a part of the team instead of just the guy who I don't know, like runs tracking and maybe just target calls and hangs out. Like I don't know. Maybe gets a hamstring off and then just gets fucking dumped on by Halbert or something. I don't know.
yeah. So I remember, like, I don't want to say at the beginning of the server, but I mean it was still very new. The town struggles they weren't quite as organized yet,
Yeah.
and there was a lot more skirmishes. Like right now, it reminds me a lot of when I played on UO Forever in EQMS. It was just e-bolt rail, e-bolt rail, e-bolt rail.
Yep.
Although there was target closest there, and I'm glad it's not here. But it was just load e-bolts. All right, drop. But
Yep.
um, however, here there's a little bit more skill to it in the fact of you got to find the target and listen to the caller and stuff. But I do got to say, there is this guy back then that was playing. I don't know if he's still playing in Town Struggles. It's been a while. His name is Kenny Nelson. He was in U Guild, and he had like four healers, just like following him around, healing him, and he would just like he was just this dude like tanked out with a war mace, just dressed with his little tricorn hat, bashing on people, dude. And I mean, but he was like literally the only Dexter in the entire
Yeah.
town struggle. Um, yeah, I mean, I totally get what you say. Other than changing the core mechanics of the game, I just don't know how to like
I don't know if it's possible to like, hey, like it's like
to
when you're
diversify PvP. It's just
when you're in a town, it would be weird, right? It would be like, hey, when you're in a town struggle, the town struggle has its own rule set
yeah.
where this does this or this does that. I don't know if that's possible. How difficult coding is for that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a coder, but I don't know. I just think it would be more engaging and more fun because you have I don't know, maybe a stealther that could come out and do something, or a Dexter who like you've got to pay attention to because he's gonna plow through and divide the teams up or something. I don't know, but like I said, super new. Don't hate me in the comments. I'm just trying my best from what I know from PvP and other games.
First impressions are always a good thing, man. It's
Yeah,
okay. And on that kind of like what you were saying, um, in Final Fantasy 14, it has like when you go into like a PvP zone, your skills
mhm,
completely change. It's like you got
yeah,
your PVM stuff, but then it's like the game is completely different. And I mean, I don't have an opinion on any of this anyway. I'm just saying that's what it
yeah.
does in Final Fantasy 14 or whatever. But that's really cool. Okay, so I mean, I like that. So what other like things for
Um,
Outlands can you think about? I mean, maybe whether it be. I mean, you talked about the land. You talked about the dungeons. You talked about a little bit more diversifying in PvP.
I
Um,
think the only other thing I have, and I'm gonna get a lot of haters that are like, hey, check this out, man. This is America, and we can't you can't do that. But I think the only thing I would say other than like the because that covers like wilderness, that covers dungeons, that covers PvP. Okay, let's go for just like standard things. The only other idea I had out there to make the lottery system just a little bit more fair for the little guy is maybe scale the ticket price. So everybody can buy like up to 100 tickets. It's the 1,000 gold per ticket. Then once you go over 100 tickets, it costs 1,500 gold a ticket. And
but
then
it's
once you
still
get,
one ticket.
but it's still just one ticket. That way, like the super rich guys, when they buy a ticket, because the guy who has 10 million gold dumps 5 million in, the chances are he might not win, but his chances are pretty damn good, right? But it allows it kind of just evens the playing field out just a little bit, and the super rich guy can probably still afford it, but maybe he doesn't buy more than 200 tickets, and it keeps everybody at like the 40 to 50 to 100. And now you're going to have people in the comments saying, well, then the lotteries aren't going to be as big anymore because the rich guys aren't going to buy as much. And it's like, okay, well, but you still have a chance of winning 15 to 20 million gold, man. Like,
There's a pro and a con to everything.
there's
You know
pros
what
and
I mean?
cons, and
Yeah.
that's like I said, don't fucking hate me. I'm just coming up with an idea. I'm a random guy who's like, hey man, I've got 100,000 gold in my name, and I can afford like a ticket.
Yeah. No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with opinions or just like
Yeah,
thinking out of the box. You know what I mean? Because like
yeah.
otherwise, like if you don't shoot your thought, then nothing grows and nothing changes. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody,
So
the opinion, and
yeah,
I think I said that on stream one time, and there was a few people who were like, yeah, it could be okay, and then there might some people were like, bah humbug, I'm rich, fuck you.
yeah. I mean,
I'm like, yeah,
I'll
well,
I can play devil's advocate and argue
yeah.
any opposite point. You know what I
Oh,
mean? But at the same
me
time, I
too. I
always
love
want to hear
arguing.
I
Yeah,
want to hear everybody's opinion too. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because I know I'm not the smartest guy in the room. You know what I mean? And if
yeah.
I am, then I'm in the wrong room, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah, you got to hang out with people that are smarter than you. That's how you get better.
yeah. So I want to hear everybody's opinion, but that's cool. Okay, so man, let's switch it up a little bit. I mean, like what other games do you play? What other games maybe are coming out this year that you're excited to maybe play? Maybe stream? Shit, man. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm always looking for
Yeah.
a new game, and a streamer buddy's always great. So
So, I I liked playing Overwatch. I loved playing Overwatch. The problem I had was I think the computer that I'm running right now couldn't handle streaming Overwatch 2. I'm
I
already having some technical difficulties right now,
yeah,
which I'm
but
gonna
you
be solving
acknowledged
here
it.
soon. Yeah, like I'm gonna be solved. Oh, another thing. The brother, my Jack, my brother. This is his computer. When he passed away, the I got his computer, so
Well,
I'm
now I
literally
feel like
playing
a
on.
dick because I was on your stream and I said your piece of shit computer.
Yeah, so I didn't take it to heart, but like I got it in 2020, so we're coming up in
Yeah.
computers, they get better every few years, so it needs upgrading. I just sold my boat, so I'm probably going to be buying a new computer here soon. So hopefully my streaming quality will go up, my camera quality will go up. I think the mic's okay. We'll keep that around,
Did you hear
but
that, guys? He sold his boat so he could provide better content.
I did. I literally did, and that also means I can afford some more Prev coins for you guys.
There you
So,
go.
Overwatch 2. I love playing Overwatch. I just couldn't handle it. My computer was just like, nah, potato. Couldn't handle it. And then I watched some guys playing some Sea of Thieves. I thought that was a pretty cool game. I enjoyed that. Watching that. That looked pretty fun. And then I have seen some guys playing some Mortal Online. That seems like another pretty technical, very in depth, can get really time consuming, and it's just
Yeah.
like I'm already like gonna get divorced because I play too much Ultima Online. I probably shouldn't get into Mortal Online. Don't worry, guys. I'm not going through a divorce. I'm just that's a joke. My wife's the best. She lets me play games and stay up with you guys. But um, yeah, I was like maybe Overwatch because that's a casual. I can come in, play a few games, bounce out. It's free. And then I already own Sea of Thieves. I honestly just haven't. touched it yet.
For me, that's really important. Is exactly what you said about Overwatch. Is the ability to jump in, play it, and log off when I need to. I can get into content almost
Yep.
instantly in Ultima, and same with Overwatch. I can log off when I'm ready to.
Yep.
But like some of those games, man, it's like let's take World of Warcraft for example. Man, especially in the classic version, I'm going to spend 25 minutes looking for a group. I'm going to spend another 20 minutes running to the dungeon, and
Yep.
then hopefully that group's good.
See, my wife loves me this much. I have a beer fridge right here.
I got one
Saying
too.
a
It
little,
might
little
be,
little beer fridge right here. I don't even have to go very far. I just grab a beer.
it's helpful. Cheers. But I think that's always important is being able to get into something quick. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
I enjoyed that about Overwatch. I love the original Overwatch. Haven't touched the new one. I've seen some reviews being
it,
like,
it's the same game. I mean, but you got to think like Call of Duty, for instance, they come out with a new game like every 2 weeks or something. Okay, it's not 2 weeks, but you know what I mean. And
yeah,
it's
every
it's
year at
it's
least.
very similar. It's pretty much the same game, just the
Yep.
graphics update a little bit, maybe you know what I mean. And this particular Overwatch, it's very similar. It's
Yeah.
pretty much the same game, just a couple more characters and
As soon as they upgraded the graphics on there, I was like, fuck.
yeah. Well,
I
you'll
don't
have
want
a
to get
new
rid
computer.
I don't want to get rid of my computer, but I might have to.
I mean, you can always, yeah, who knows? But yeah, okay, that's awesome, man. Okay, so just tell me. I got two more questions. One, I'm throwing this one in here. Just tell me a story about Ultima, a funny story, a funny interaction, I mean, just a story. Maybe it was something you did to troll somebody. Maybe I'll steal that one from Mustache. Shout out to Voss Poor Podcast, by the way. Love the guy.
Oh man,
Uh,
funny interactions.
mhm.
Oh man, that's a good question. Does it have to be one that I had or one that I just was a part of it and just saw it?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
whatever.
oh no, I got a perfect one. I got a
Okay.
perfect one, right? So Arbor the Tree. Here's my shout out to my first Ultima clip from Arbor the Tree. Here it is.
Uh,
So I had just started playing, just started streaming. It might have been like my second day, first day streaming or whatever. And I get told, some guy walked up to me and was like, "Hey, stop being new. You look too new." Throws me like 20 skill orbs, throws me a mastery chain, throws me a blessed rune book, throws me like the adventurer satchel, and then marks a rune to the top of Terran Bank. He's like, "This is your bank now," and I was like, "Okay." So that the interaction started out like, "Holy shit, this game's crazy! Like, who these people got just cash to throw around?" So I get to the top of Terran Bank, and Arbor's just chilling, not moving, not saying nothing,
he's being a
and my
tree.
just being Arbor the Tree. And my buddy Winter goes, "Hey, ask him to make you a chair." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Just ask him to make you a chair. He'll make you whatever you want." And I was like, "It seems like a weird thing to ask some random guy." He's like, "Just do it." So I just type in game, "Hey, can I get a like the red throne chair?" Doesn't say anything. Nothing goes by. Opens trade, boom, in goes chair. I had lost it. I was just like, "You got to be kidding me! This dude just does." He's like, "Yeah, man, on demand carpentry. That dude just loves that shit." So that to me is just like it was hilarious to me because it just happened on a whim. Just got teleported to the top of this random because I didn't know what Terran Bank was. I was like, I got teleported to this random place, and I was just like, "All right, okay, chair,
Love
boom."
it.
And then it's funny because everybody knows who Arbor is.
Of
Like
course.
this community is crazy good because like everybody knows a little bit about somebody or everybody that
Yeah.
like is a part of the community, and it was a really good engagement, really fun, and it was the first clip I had on Twitch was me just laughing my ass off about a chair. So yeah,
I
that was fun.
to follow up on what you said about everybody kind of knows somewhat of each other. I think to me that's like the coolest part about it is like the server's big enough to where like
Hmm.
I don't know everybody intimately like I know you. I don't mean intimately like but you know what I mean, like or Dennis or Job or
All these
Thormac
guys, yeah.
or whoever these guys, but I know when I see names running through Aegis or running through wherever, it's like, oh, I know that guy, I know that guy, I know that
Yeah.
guy, or you know what I mean. The names are familiar enough, and that the population is big enough to where you don't know everybody really well, but you can kind of you see a lot
Yeah.
of the same names, and I think
Yeah.
that's really cool. And so, like, if I ever made an MMO, I'll never do it, but if I ever did, I would find that perfect population that it's at, like this particular game and server. So it creates that community that you run into people. And some
Yeah.
people hate this guy and they love this guy and they talk shit to this guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's
That's a
beautiful.
part of that's a part of the community. You got to have that diversity. You got to have that that fuel, that whether
Yes.
it's good fuel or bad fuel, it's got to be
Yeah.
something. And it's fun because it's like, I'm not going to throw guild names out there, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
there's some guilds out there that it's just like, I'm going to kill this guy.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna kill these guys.
Well,
Why? Because
I mean,
I've had bad interactions with all of you, and then the thing is like I've had good interactions with some of them, and they're like, "Dude, yeah, kill us. I don't care." They're like, "Just go for it." I'm like, "All right, let's go."
yep. Like
It's
like
fun.
Sin and Face hate each other. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It's so funny. And then like Friend hates me. They hate me. They see me and they're like, "There's Pwn Star killing." And I love it though because it's like, yes,
yeah.
there's Friend.
Oh,
But
and
yeah,
like the other like another thing I really like about this server is there's people that are incredibly devoted
yeah,
to like the RP part of like I don't really RP that myself, but like the orcs, they run up at
yes.
you and you're just dropping gems and stacks of gold, and they're just like, they have like some witty thing they say like snarls their teeth and drips blood, something, right? But it's and then they leave you alone and they run off and they do their thing, or you've got like these people who do like the RP part and they're devoted to it, and it's like a whole like even the people who don't really RP will kind of even give them that little bit
So,
sometimes, right? It's fucking amazing.
so two things on the RP scene and like, so one, I have a character in Urk named Putar,
Mm,
and the Orc Guild, and they literally have their own language, and
yeah,
they speak it and all this, and you start out as a snotlink and you are dumb, right? And you don't know the language and you might say a word here and there, but you're really not supposed to talk unless talked to, and it's like it's really cool just the amount of RP and stuff. Now also there's the Vile Guild, and I just filmed something from them, and like Davamis sent me a PDF, and they had been working on this thing for like, I don't remember, months. And it's this long PDF of this story. And I'm just like overwhelmed trying to like piece it all together and stuff. But dude, like what you said, this shit that is so in depth, it's
it's
crazy how
insane.
deep the RP community gets. It's awesome though. So, but okay, so to kind of wrap things up, man, what first of all, like, you being here has been like, it's been a really big honor. I do remember the first time I jumped into your stream and you were in Cavernem, and I remember you playing on whatever server, maybe it was Atlantic or wherever you were playing on, and I remember we had a small interaction, and you said, "I play Ultima, but I play on retail." And you posted your link and this and
Hmm.
the streamer thing, and I remember then, but I remember when I caught you playing Outlands, and I was like, "Oh," and I clicked into it, and I said hi, and you were in Cavernem and everything, and you just like have grown so much, and it's just been really cool to like watch you and watch the community and everybody gravitate towards you, myself included. So it really has been an honor. I mean, I know that,
Oh
thank you for
man,
your service as well. I know this is an international game, but you know, I appreciate your service. Being in the military Marine, right?
I am. I actually recently just pinned on gunnery sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. So if there's any other fellow veterans out there listening, Semper Fidelis.
When you say pin, is it a real thing where they take the cap off and then they like put it up here and they all come by and hit and stick it in?
I can neither confirm nor deny that any of those actions ever take place.
Such a Marine thing to say. Let me
Yeah.
guess.
Gotta make sure I don't get anybody in trouble.
Well, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, yeah. It's 2023. All right. So,
Yeah.
um, who? So, I mean, just on a whim, man. Tell me who you think we should try to reach out to and get to be the next guest on this podcast if we do another one. Which I definitely,
You're gonna hit me with that question.
yeah, you know,
Hmm.
put you on the spot.
That's a really good question.
Because
Um,
it gets you to
it's
say it and it gets to call them out. So then they
oh,
have to accept if they've been called out,
they
you know?
do. So this is what I'll do. Because I don't think I could choose just one
Okay.
because there's so many good streamers and there's so many good content creators and there's so many good people out there that
Yeah,
I
line the
feel like
guests up.
I'd be amiss, right? I'm gonna call. We'll do three. We'll line up three of them, and I think the best way to do it is to let the community kind of talk about it in comments and talk about it down there. Let's go, man. I've been PR trained at this point. Like I took some classes, I watched some online videos. Let's get some engagement going on here in the comment section, guys. Um, let's do. I'll pick three names that I think, and I'll explain why I think for each three. Each of the three, and that way the community can kind of have a discussion about it, right? So I will. Now I got to think for a second. All right, the first one I'll pick is because he did so much when I first joined, which is Job Gamers.
Hey.
Um, Job, uh, he does his huge giveaways, these massive giveaways, and he's always posting these giveaways in the new player chat on the Outlands Discord. And I think he would be an incredibly hilarious person to have
Oh,
on a
yeah.
podcast because he's just vibrant. He's good, got good energy. He's always, drinking his brown water, and he's just a fucking fun dude to get to hang out with. I
His I
think,
could do, like, in person, actually,
yeah, that'd
because
be
we live,
amazing.
like, 45 minutes away from each other.
Yeah, perfect candidate. Then I'm glad I said that one first.
Yeah.
Um, I think he would be really awesome. The second one is somebody who I think is one of the most talented individuals when it comes to like overlays and like actual like streaming content and quality. And you probably already know who I'm talking about. Is Dennis. We already talked about him a little bit, right? The one end
Yeah.
Dennis. That guy's stream. I'll say right now, everybody here listening, I'll never not be sub to Dennis because I can go into his chat and just type in random words and the screen's exploding and there's stuff going off everywhere. And I,
Yeah.
I will literally go in there sometimes and just laugh. He doesn't even have to be playing UO. He could be playing whatever, and I'll go in there and hang out with him. That's how much I enjoy hanging out in that guy's stream. Um, shit. Number three. All right, I'm gonna say this one, and this is gonna be a big ask. This guy actually came and hung out with me a lot when I played OSI, and was one of the reasons why I came over. Um, but he never shows his face, so we might have to try to figure out a way that we can get him to do a podcast with his Jason mask. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, that's the real Boo Whip. That guy is an incredibly fun guy to hang out with. He's everywhere. He's a part of the community, huge part of the community. Does these stealth PK things, does the lock picking stuff, does he streams like cartoons and stuff now, which I think is amazing
Yeah.
because you'll see on like every morning there'll be like 15 of us sometimes just sitting there watching like
Especially Saturday morning.
yeah, like we'll just be sitting there like watching cartoons
Yeah.
and hanging out with other members of the UO community or like
Yeah,
all other communities too.
it was last Saturday, and I remember I was watching someone stream, I don't know whose, I can't remember, but I got raided over to Boo Whip somehow. You know how it is.
Yeah.
You, like, go to bed and you leave it on because 'cause you're
You
lurking
wake
or
up.
whatever. You wake up in some random place, but I woke up watching Transformers Saturday morning, and it's funny because, like, people are waking up and they're like, "Good morning, good morning, good morning, Saturday morning cartoons." We
Yeah.
were watching Transformers, and I mean, I was sitting there editing my video, and I'm just like watching Transformers, and I was like, "This is pretty fucking cool,
Yeah,
dude."
it's amazing because the community will all just hang out
Yeah,
and
yeah,
watch cartoons together, and we're like live tweeting the damn thing on on
yeah,
Twitch. We're sitting here just like talking like back and
yeah.
forth, like it's a blast.
I
So
think
yeah,
he's
I'm
doing
calling him
Friday
out.
the 13th right now. I think he's
Yeah,
doing like
all
Friday the
day.
13th movies.
Yep,
Yeah, crazy.
all day today. Friday the 13th movies. It's been and we're the same thing there. There's like 15 of us over there, just like boop, 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 just talking about the movies. Like, dude, this person's about to get fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
It's fun. I love this place. I love this community. I'm super happy to be here. And once again, thank you for having me on. It's been an absolute honor and privilege because I remember you talked about the first interaction of you coming into one of my streams. I'm pretty sure I like stopped what I was doing, like looked at the camera and was like, "Holy shit, Pwncast is hanging out on my Twitch right now."
Yeah, you did. But,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I left that out. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you being here, man. I really do. It's been an honor having you part of the community and everything. And honestly, I mean, you're the first guest on the podcast, so that means a lot to me, man. And like I said, I feel like it was the perfect time to go ahead and fire this thing up. And you were the perfect person for the first one, so I really do appreciate it. I appreciate what you do for the Outlands community. I appreciate what you do for just humanity. I mean, I can say that because you know the charities, being in the military. I mean, there's a lot, man. You're a good dude, man. So I really appreciate you.
With that being said, I would like to add one last thing in here. I know this wasn't a part of any questions or anything like that.
Sure.
If you guys don't know, every single month I do a fundraiser. Every single month, that's what I do. I think I'm becoming known as like the fundraiser guy. This month I'm doing one. Last month, I continue to I do them, every month. I'm never not going to be doing one. This month is Doctors Without Borders. I chose this one because this is an international community. There are people from all over the world that play: Turkey, Australia, Canada, the US, Brazil. That's just to name a few. If I'm leaving any out, don't hate me. I'm just naming the ones that I know off the top of my head. Um, and Doctors Without Borders supports over 72 countries across the world. 85% of the money that's raised goes directly into supporting it. Only 1% of the money that goes to them gets put towards any of their administrative fees, which means they're being paid. The people who work for Doctors Without Borders are only getting paid with 1% of the money that's raised. Every single month, what I do is I do my own due diligence. I research the charity. I make sure that that charity is not taking the money and paying themselves with it. And also stackup.org. That was the second fundraiser I did. They actually reached out to me like this week, which was weird. I didn't even realize that they did that. One of their representative reached out to me. They personally said thank you. They helped me set up a couple different alerts. I'm going to leave stackup.org, which I will explain what that is. I'm going to leave stackup.org in my about me section for the rest of the year just to see what we can get for them. What they do is they send care packages to military members, retired, out, separated, whatever. They send care packages to military members to help out with veteran and active duty mental health and suicide prevention. So that's obviously something that's important to me, and I'm going to leave that
Sure.
up on my stream the entire time.
How do we pick which one to do? I just click in the about me section and then it takes me
I
there?
made it, yeah, I made it super simple. There's a little bar, in the about me section, like, on Twitch, there's a little blurb that says stackup.org. You can donate and that goes straight through their process. I don't touch any of the funds. No, all the fundraisers I do, none of the money goes through me. It all goes through to directly to these other sources. I don't touch any of the funds in case anybody's wondering. So if you want to donate to Stack Up, you can go to in my about me section. If you want to donate to whatever my monthly fundraiser is, you can go directly to where my subscribe button is. Ignore the subscribe part. Go straight to the donate to whatever fundraiser I'm doing. If you donate $100, I eat a crayon live on stream, and you can watch me and enjoy that. And there's some other viewer stuff in there. And then at the end of the month, if you donate $5 to any fundraiser, I put your name into. I think I have it over here. I put your name into this little guy right here. I give you a ball, a little raffle ball ticket, and I I draw it out, and then I give out, I think next month we're going to do 150 Prev coins. So, and if you play a different video game, let's say you play Call of Duty or Overwatch, I'll give you $20 towards whatever game you're playing. Don't think that this is just about the Outlands community. I'm trying to raise money wherever I can get it. So, I will basically just give you $20 for
Love it.
for whatever it is. So,
Love it.
fundraiser
So,
spiel.
no, that's perfect. That was perfect. That's good. I'm glad you did that. I would. Well, I mean, tell us your socials. They're right below him, as you guys can see. But tell us kind of your different socials, and let's yeah.
Yeah. So, don't judge me. I'm not great at social media. I'm getting there. I currently have a TikTok, which is, it'll be down here below. It's
Oh, I'll
just
send you
barely
some really weird TikToks in. All right, I gotta.
good.
Let's go.
I've got some TikToks up on there. I put up a couple of them this week. I just started it back up this week, fresh, and I'm putting more Outlands content out there, and I'm trying to get my community to start clipping my shit a little bit more, so I can have some more stuff up there.
Struggle is real, right?
It's the struggle's real, because I'm like, half the time I'm just trying not to get killed, because I'm a lot of the content I'm trying to do is like anti-theft, anti-thief, and PK stuff, so I don't have time to hit the clip button. So I started that up. I have a YouTube, which is, it's all basically like the Behrlythere name. I have the YouTube. I have a Twitter, which I'm trying to get better at. I mainly just post stuff about like, hey, I raised this much money, or this is my goal for raising money. Maybe if you guys like at me or tweet me a lot more, I'll try to be more engaging, and I'll try to do more stuff. But I'm honestly terrible at socials. And then obviously I have, my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Behrlythere.
Awesome, man. Well, once again, I appreciate you being here, man, and I'll see you on stream.
Yes, sir. You take it easy, buddy.